This is Love God First. This is episode 1 of the 10 Commandments on Smile TV. Yep, can we run that VT?
Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. 10 commands, 10 commands. I can never do the stuff the law demands. On the cross, the Son of Man gave me grace and glory and a place to stand. The law won't budge, the law won't bend. You can't do nothing about 1 through 10. They teach me about Jesus, my Savior and friend. The 10. Here we go again. 10 commands, 10 commands. I could never do the stuff the law demands. But on the cross, the Son of Man gave me grace and glory and a place to stand. The law won't budge, the law won't bend. You can't do nothing about 1 through 10. It teaches me about Jesus, my Savior and friend. The 10. Love God first. Love God. Love God only. Love God. Love God's name and day. Honor your parents. Love God. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has. Love God first, love God only, love God's name and day, honor your parents. Don't kill, don't break your vows, don't steal and don't lie, don't covet what somebody else has.
Oh, what should we do now then?
I think we're meant to go to AJ, aren't we?
Okay, go on then.
Over to you, AJ.
Going extra mile to bring you a smile, smile, smile. And here we are together with the smile phrase. Hey up, my name's AJ and I'm here to do smile mega phrase. And these are reinforced because this series is based on 10 Commandments. These rules were given to Moses by God. They are rules so we can walk the right path with Jesus. They are not there to spoil our fun, they are there to protect us. Remember, wear a smile, one size fits all. What we're going to do is go through these mega phrases and we're going to go through them a couple of times so we can remember them. Are you ready, children? Here we go. So, smile phrase number 1. You must have no other gods before me. And that is in the Old Testament, and it's in a place which is called Exodus, and that is chapter 20, verse number 3. So repeat that after me, children. You must have no other gods before me. Exodus 20, verse 3. Right, over to Justin with news. Justin.
Hello and welcome. I am Justin with the news. Justin, I am coming to you live. I have just had updates on the news report of a very special man. It is a very exciting. The man in question is Moses. He's quite an old man but highly respected by God. God gave Moses some rules for us to follow and we are breaking them daily. Yes, I repeat, we are breaking them daily. This disturbing news is causing all sorts of problems around the world today. The rules were not written to restrict us, but to set us free. We have an amazing find today here in the studios. We have the actual tablets Moses wrote on. No, they are not small white pills you get from the doctor. They are made of stone. Can we get a shot of them? Thank you. The most recent report has come in about one brave girl who stood up for what she thought was right and stuck to her beliefs and put God first in her life. Here is that report of that amazing testimony of this young girl. She is in fact no other than our Heather with the weather.
Hello, children. It's Gladys here. We're here to tell you about a wonderful, wonderful story. And this story is about a marvellous Heather. Heather with the weather, you know. Would be fun. Now, this is all about putting God first in our lives. And that's how important that is. So here we go. This is called the picnic. It was Saturday afternoon. Crystal and Heather were in the park having a picnic. They had some lovely things laid out on the red checkered mat. Crystal's mum had made jam sandwiches cut into triangles. They had a bottle of apple juice, a big packet of cheese and onion crisps, and some yummy chocolate cream cakes for afters. Heather and Crystal sat under a big oak tree to shade them from the afternoon sun. They talked about their week at school and giggled at some funny things which had happened. They were both very, very good friends. Heather had recently moved into the area. Crystal was the only friend she had made so far in the school. There were some mean boys in the school who had been making fun of Heather. This made Heather sad. But she was glad she had a new friend. As they tucked into their chocolate cream cakes and watched the swans swimming by on the lake, they looked so peaceful. The girls heard voices and shouting. They looked around and a group of boys from their school were kicking a football around. They were shouting and taking their game very seriously. The girls watched in anticipation. Just then, Heather recognised one of the boys. He was one of the bullies who had been picking on her in school. Heather felt sad and looked at the ground and started picking at the grass. Crystal noticed her friend had gone quiet and wanted to cheer her up, so asked Heather if she would like an ice cream from the van in the park. Heather gave a weak smile and a little nod. Crystal got to her feet and ran over to the ice cream van and waited in the queue. Heather watched as Crystal waited in line for the ice creams. At that point, the nasty boy called Jim noticed Heather sitting in the picnic mat. He shouted a name at Heather which distracted her. Heather turned round and was hit full-blown in the face with a football. Jimmy had deliberately kicked the ball as hard as he could to hit Heather. Heather fell back onto the ground, by the force of the ball hitting her. Blood began pouring out of her nose. Oh dear. Jimmy shouted over, "Ha ha 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 ha," in a horrible laugh. "Kick the ball back, freak," he shouted. Heather began to cry. Jimmy laughed louder, then came over to get his ball. He went to kick the ball and instead, with an almighty blow, kicked Heather in the leg really, really hard. Heather crouched round her injured leg. The boy ran off and carried on playing football. Crystal had witnessed everything which had happened. She was worried the boys would start to pick on her at school, so she took her ice cream and walked the other way. When Heather looked up, her t-shirt was covered in blood and her leg had a huge lump on it and a bruise was starting to form. She cried and cried. A middle-aged man with his dog looked down at Heather as he walked past. As Heather looks up, she catches his eye and holds out her hand. The man pretends he hasn't seen her and carries on walking, but he walks at a quicker pace this time. Heather tries to get up. She had spilt the last of the apple juice on the mat. She felt hurt and alone. Heather spots her teacher jogging through the park. At last, she thinks, someone who will help me. Heather shouts out, "Mrs. Brannigan! Mrs. Brannigan! Please help! I'm hurt!" The teacher looked at Heather in disgust. What had she been doing to get in that state? She ran straight on by and turned her personal Walkman up to full volume so she could not hear Heather's cries for help. Heather mopped up the blood on her t-shirt with the picnic mat. She must get home. Jimmy spat on Heather as he walked off, leaving the park. He had his ball tucked under his arm and a line of boys followed him. The boys just gave Heather a dirty look and carried on walking with nasty smirks on their faces. Apart from one. Ben was a young blonde boy at the back. He had seen everything what had happened and felt sorry for Heather. He walked over to Heather and said, "Are you okay?" Heather looked up with puffy, teary eyes and shook her head. "I want to go home." Jimmy shouted back at his friend Ben, "Leave the loser alone. You help her and I'll get you later." Ben looked at Jimmy and said, "You don't scare me. I'm staying here." With that, Jimmy and the boys stormed off in a rage. Heather managed a smile. "Thank you." Ben helped clear all the mat up, and he had a cloth in his pocket. He let Heather use it to wipe the blood off her face. Ben asked Heather why Jimmy hated her so much. Heather told Ben it was because the week previous, Jimmy had seen Heather and her family going to the local church. "Oh, I get it," Ben said. "Jimmy hates any religious stuff." Heather proceeded to say, "Oh, I'm not religious. I have a faith in Jesus, and I love God first in my life." Ben was surprised by Heather's honesty. He could see the passion she had in her heart. He wanted to know more. "Wow, you must really hate Jimmy now. Are you going to get your parents to go round to his house? Oh, and your friend Crystal, who left you?" Ben asked. Heather shook her head and said, "The Lord tells us to love our enemies. I have already forgiven Jimmy, but it doesn't stop the hurting in my leg. Can you help me home?" "Sure, only if you tell me some more of this God and tell me all this putting God first in our life stuff." After that, Heather and Ben became good friends. Ben told Jimmy and his friends about Heather and the faith thing, and they soon wanted to know more. What a wonderful story! Do you know, that gives us a lesson, children, that we should put God in our lives first and not be ashamed to tell our friends. You never know, they may be searching too. Goodbye. Right, get Heather to smile. Yep, I know the weather's bad, but just get a smile in.
Hello, Heather here, bringing you the weather. Well, today, across the world, it's a bit damp. I spoke to my friend April Showers earlier, and she said it would rain cats and dogs today. Be careful not to step in a poodle. Little joke of mine. When we look at our map, we are seeing big fluffy clouds moving across the sky. They are white with slightly grey edging. Not very pretty. Not looking nice at all, really. This may bring a little droplets of clear water from the sky. This is called rain. May only be a little slight, so we need to take out our brollies, just in case. They have a nice line of spotted and flowery ones. Do you like mine? Yellow's my colour, don't you agree? Lovely. And remember, God created the weather. Goodbye from Heather with the weather.
Okay, Tammy, what do you think about that then? That was good graphics for Heather with the weather, wasn't it? Yep, okay, yeah, that bouncy ball, I thought that really worked. Okay, are we ready for the next one? Okay, let's go.
Would anybody like any tea? Tea, I said. They don't love an old lady like me anymore. Think they're doing that Ten Commandment stuff. Must be putting God first. I do hate all this stuff, you know. Get them kids to smile. Yeah, Cliff cameraman, get them kids to smile. In position.
Okay, quiet in the studio, please. Stand by for another take. Get those dancers into positions fast.
Yeah, Graham, graphics. Do we need any? No. Okay, off we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't know where you lay your head or where you call your home. I don't know where you eat your meals or where you talk on the phone. I don't know if you got a cook, a butler, or a maid. I don't know if you got a yard with a hammock in the shade. I don't know if you got some shelter, say a place to hide. I don't know if you live with friends in whom you can confide. I don't know if you got a family, say a mom or dad. I don't know if you feel love at all, but I bet you wish you had. Come and go with me to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. All I know is a big old house with rooms for everyone. All I know is lots of land where we can play and run. All I know is you need love and I've got a family. All I know is you're all alone, so why not come with me? Oh, come and go with me to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house. A big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house. It's my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house. A big, big house with lots and lots of room. A big, big table with lots and lots of food. A big, big yard where we can play football. A big, big house. It's my Father's house.